defined in International Covenant on Civil and People's Rights by the United Nations in 1966. Article 21 of African Charter, 1981, in Banjul, Gambia. And then Nigeria ratified the African Charter and domesticated it in 1983. And so now it has become a Nigerian law, part of our domestic laws. So why is Nigeria having goose pimples when people rise up to fight for equality? When people rise up to demand equal treatment? Why does Nigeria develop goose pimples? Why is Nigeria finding it intolerant to allow people to express themselves, which only calls for opportunity for dialogue? When an ethnic nationality stands up and says, we are not being treated fairly in this federation, it calls for dialogue. Nigeria should be responsible enough to be able to call them to and find out exactly what is the problem so as to adjust. Because there has never been a time ethnic nationalities in Nigeria met together and said, we want to form a nation. Nigeria was foisted on every one of us by the British colonial authority. And then they created 3 regions, North, East, and West. Now, in 1963, Nigeria, there was a plebiscite that created the 4th region, which is the Midwest. When did Nigeria meet to decide that we are going to be 4 regions? And when did Nigeria meet to decide that we are no more 4 regions, we are now 6 geographical regions? So these are issues that, and if Nigeria should know, in international law, there's what we call Pacta Suis Servanda. Pacta Suis Servanda is found in Article 26 of the Treaty of Versailles, which states that agreement must be obeyed. Article 26 says, once a treaty comes into force, all parties to that treaty must abide by the treaty in utmost good faith. Article 18 of the same Treaty of Versailles, it says that no nation who is a party to a treaty should take any step, be it administrative or legislative step, to scuttle or to thwart or to suffocate the intent and purpose of that treaty. That is exactly what Nigeria is doing. Nigeria is signatory to all United Nations human rights treaties that endorses self-determination. And yet, domestically, they cannot hear the word self-determination. They are in breach of the obligations under Article 18 and 26 of the Treaty of Versailles of 1969.
Right. Thank you so much for that detailed.
I believe every one of us listening to this video. Now let me say it. Nigeria is not a country. Nigeria is just a geographical zone where slaves and animals are kept. The British never consulted any person before creating that Nigeria. And every persons and the animals, everything that are found in that territory called Nigeria are under slave. And Oga, you that is asking who do they met before expanding it to more than 3 geographical zone or this and that, the question you should ask yourself is, who do they met in the first place before creating Nigeria? Who do they met before amalgamating Nigeria? Since they have not met anyone, you are like a slave, and they see you as a slave. They don't even need your consent as a slave to expand you or to divide you. They are just dividing their shop. It's like somebody having a shop and he decided to expand his shop. He don't need the consent of the goose inside the shop to extend it. So a master don't need the consent of the slave before using the slave to do any kind of work he or she want to use them for. So in as far as you are still bearing that name, Nigeria, you automatically a slave to the white, to the Britain, to the English people. So you should stop saying you never knew or they have not consulted any person. That is nothing. Now, coming to say that Nigeria is a signatory to anything, do animals have law? The question you should be asking yourself now is, the Nigerians, have they realized that they are under bondage? There are things you take by force. Many of those things, Nigerian leaders are not respecting them because the citizens have not risen up to demand for it to be respected. The Nigerian youth are still celebrating their corrupt leaders and seeing the ones that are not corrupt as unwise people. They clap and they follow the people that are killing them, that people that are tormenting them. Why they despise those that want them to be saved? Many Nigerians today pray for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to buy a DSS dungeon. Meanwhile, the same Mazi that is trying to save them. So Nigeria as a country is under bondage and they are under curse. Nothing. The only thing that will save that country is not by coming to social media to speak a lot of grammar. After all this, the only thing that will save them is for the youth to fight for their freedom. Total disintegration of that contraption called Nigeria, because it's not functioning. It is not going to function, not today, not tomorrow. I don't want to say much, but I will leave you people here. I remember my humble self, MAP Ezioku Bundo. 1. Stay tuned for more videos.